First off, check the comment section now to see if there's a pinned comment with any updates. Last PSA I did had about 13 updates in the first few days. Check back every now and then to stay up to date. Second, I won't be showing any visuals during this video. The only audio-visual content in this video is made by me and solely my property, with the exception of the font Proxima Nova, which I'm using under the Mac OS license section 2E. This video was made for and originally published to youtube.com/c/magebunkshelf and no other channel. I will fill the description with links to evidence and external sources. This will be the last time I address this subject. From now on, I'll comment only on the state of this channel. You may have been hearing recently about a user by the name of Ninelie ASMR, who has been targeting other channels, stealing their content, and then issuing false copyright claims to get the original channel taken down. The Mage Bunkshelf channel was hit by this same person. My content was stolen, I was given 5 strikes in about 3 days, and my channel was scheduled for termination. The channel has now been returned to working order with all videos restored after human review from YouTube, and I'll be remaining in contact with them into the future. Oh, and my private information was doxed. This started months ago when this user stole content from another VA reading out the stolen scripts. Whether he read it himself or got someone else to do it, the female-voiced audios unquestionably feature a voice filter effect, but it doesn't hide the same accent he has in all his content. He uploaded this to a channel called Ninelie ASMR, a different one by the same name. This user has had literally dozens of accounts, and the branding has changed frequently, from Melody, Martial Melody, Enchanter, Enchantment, Sirenic Overload, Love Lights, Yandere Melody, Alchemist, Enchantix, pretty much all with the ASMR suffix, and almost all using a squiggle sigil as the emblem, as well as impersonation accounts of myself and Queen Serena. These are all the same man who has been targeting Serena for the past month, but for the sake of brevity, I'll just call him the Thief. So yeah, Queen Serena, a VA who had only started a channel at the start of June. The Thief stole her content, scripts, thumbnails, and sometimes the entire audio, re-uploaded it to his channel, changed the branding of his channel to mimic hers with just the name change to Ninelie ASMR, even zooming in her intros to cut out her watermark, then issued false copyright claims against her channel. Her channel was taken down. She is now finally back up and active on YouTube and her videos restored, but she had been chasing YouTube support for weeks before anything happened. During this time, I encountered prolific scriptwriter Matthias Matt, a user well known for high-quality scripts and a history of people stealing them, reporting the same. Serena's channel and videos have since been reinstated. Matt's, to my knowledge, has not. I had been weighing in on the subject in support for these content creators, and on the 7th of July, I posted a PSA in support of them, calling out the actions of the Thief, naming his 2 largest channels, Melody and Enchanter. I did this in video form because he blocks comments from appearing on his channels without approval, so I had hoped that by making a video on it, it would start getting recommended to the people who watch his channels. This did start to happen. I received a few comments from people saying they used to be subscribed but had no idea the content was stolen. Within 3 hours, that video received almost 100 dislikes within a roughly half-hour burst, before stopping abruptly. The downvotes likely looked fraudulent to YouTube's automated systems, so they never made it to the video page, but at one stage the video's ratio in my dashboard was plummeting 1% per minute, behaviour that appeared to be bot-driven and similar to downvote attacks Serena had received before. Following this, I reached out to VTuber news channel False ID, who had covered the Melody issue that same night, urging them to check for signs of the same on their videos. The next day, False covered the story again using a few of my tweets on this, saying that their video exposing the Thief had been age-restricted and was the first video of over 440 on their channel to have been hit like that. They reran the story, saying during their 12th of July report, quote, "We have never seen a more blatant issue of theft ever in all of our reporting." The thief had, up until this point, been primarily focused on yandere content, something I've aired away from on my channel, with one subversive exception. On the 11th of July, I noticed the two most recent videos used my scripts. I don't get my scripts from Reddit. I write them all myself and never share them anywhere. The only exceptions being The Raven by Edgar Allan Poe, the Bridget and Raban collab I wrote with Jesse, and Ship AI 2, which was a guest script kindly written by Kingsley as a continuation for what would have otherwise been a one-shot. Everything else is my own work. Meaning, this guy went to my videos, accessed the auto-transcript, and just read it out with some minor alterations. I've now gone through and deleted the automated closed captions on all my videos. My apologies to the hard of hearing, but it's clear the transcript option opened my stories up to being stolen. I recommend to scriptwriters add this as a clause of usage if you're putting your scripts behind paywalls. The theft was obvious, compounded by the fact that he clearly didn't understand what in the world he was reading, missing all the nuance. My content is, and has always been, about exploring insecurities and personal flaws. That's what Bunkshelf is. He tried to twist that into cheap romance. But of course, quality was never his goal. He just wanted to throw some of my content up so that he could issue copyright claims against me. I encountered about 10 stolen videos of mine across 4 or 5 different channels. After I got 3 strikes, I privated my remaining content. During this week, he also made a fake Mage Bunkshelf channel and uploaded one of my audios as is. Be very mindful that this user isn't above impersonation to get people to report the wrong account. Always double check the account URL, especially since Serena has received comments from people confusing her with a thief due to the thief's use of her avatar, and included links to her genuine Patreon account on his impersonation channels. Sending copyright claims is absurdly easy. All you need to do is link to the video you want taken down, then simply name the original content you claim to own. No evidence needed that it's yours or even real, and then give your personal details. That's it. In a few hours, that video will be down, and that channel will have a strike. 3 strikes, and your channel is terminated. I had 5. And my channel was only given a 7 days grace period to fight this because it's monetized. Now, if you believe you own your content legitimately, you can counterclaim, where you fill out your personal details and explain why the claim is false. Then you have to wait 10 to 14 days for the original claimant to tell YouTube they're filing a court order, after which, if they don't, your content will be restored and the strike's lifted. Of course, you can just file another claim the next day and the day after, and now the channel has 3 strikes. 10 to 14 days of waiting, and my channel was scheduled to be terminated in 7. Within hours, I received an email from the same address that, according to YouTube, was attached to the thief's channel. It was a pretty disgusting slur-filled read, and he told me to commit certain things, followed by further death threats. But it was worth noting that, despite his counterclaim against me playing the sob story of I worked hard on my scripts and Mage stole them off Reddit, the email laid out unequivocally that he knew full well the scripts are in fact mine. He had given to me in writing under the same email the acknowledgement that his claims were fraudulent. How did he get my email? YouTube gave it to him. Because I'd filled out the counterclaims to protect my channel and my copyright, YouTube happily forwarded all my personal details to him, so that apparently his legal team can get in touch with mine, because that's how copyright law is set up. The next day, he doxed my full legal name, email address, physical address, and postcode online on 2 Twitter accounts and a throwaway YouTube channel, and then again a few days later with a 3rd Twitter account. This is the gaping hole in how YouTube as a platform is set up. A single individual could create a new account and, over the course of 3 days, issue 1 copyright claim per day. They'll have their throwaway terminated, and the original channel will be back in 2 weeks, but that's 2 weeks of no channel, and that's only if you file a counterclaim by giving your personal information. Remind that Matthias Matt still has the false copyright claims against his videos because of this user. False claims outlive the termination of the claimant. If someone wants access to a YouTuber's private information, they could issue a copyright claim, and unless the YouTuber can pay for an attorney, YouTube will give them the lot. This is why Serena and Matt were harassed for so long by this person, and why Matt's case is still unresolved. The support account on Twitter just tells you to fill out the counterclaim forms. But look what happened to me. All my personal details doxed. The thief has been harassing Matt to get Serena to open her DMs. This is a creep who should never have access to her private details. YouTube as a platform is fundamentally broken. The claim system sides with the claimant by default. The content creator is guilty until proven innocent, and there is no protection for users in cases like this. Shell out for a lawyer, or dox yourself to your harasser. Or give up, of course. Oh, last minute addendum. It turns out someone did in fact use YouTube's flawed copyright system to take down videos from Bungie, a multi-billion-dollar games company, who also had difficulty reaching out to YouTube. Bungie is now suing the fraudulent claimant for $7.6 million. Bungie give a damning response to the way YouTube's system is set up in their lawsuits. I'll leave a link to a video by the Axeman below. The lawsuit starts at around 6 minutes in. Wait, isn't this a two-way street? Didn't I get his personal info too? Well, yeah, I got some info, but I doubt any of it is real. I'm obviously not going to share, even though I am 100% convinced none of the details are actually his, but I received claims and counterclaims from the same individual posting the same videos in the same voice and with the same branding, going by at least 3 different legal names and from 3 different addresses in 3 different countries. One of those names had an address in 2 of those countries. You don't even need to give real information to YouTube in your claims. When I finally got in contact with an actual human at YouTube, the channel was rather quickly reinstated. YouTube understandably doesn't want to be in the position of mediating copyright, but they do care about their claims system being abused, and here it was blatant, given the claims were obviously not valid in the first place. Despite this, even though my and Serena's channels are back up, the same thief's claims against Matthias Matt are still in place. YouTube support keeps telling him to counterclaim to show that he owns it, but after what happened to me, I seriously don't blame him for not wanting to give YouTube his private details, given YouTube will just pass it on to the person harassing him. This debacle has shaken my trust in YouTube as a platform, which is already infamous for its derision to the ASMR and audio roleplay niche. While the channel is back, and I will continue posting here as before, I've been exploring other options. We've begun mirroring the channel's library of audios on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Amazon Music. Just search those services for Major Bunkshelf. We don't have everything up yet, but I'm working on it. I am on Twitter @MageBunkshelf, and here on youtube.com/c/MageBunkshelf. We also have our Discord server linked on the channel banner, which is predominantly safe for work 18+, but we have been allowing under 18s to access the announcement channel and ask questions in the slow mode open chat during this time. If you encounter any further suspicious accounts or anyone else claiming to be me, please reach out, my DMs are open. I'll be taking a short break from audios here to do other stuff and catch up with work, but I'll still be around for certain collabs. I'm excited to get back to making audios, so I don't suspect I'll be long. My apologies for the disruption, but the fact of the matter is, I've been on YouTube creating content since 2008. This channel may be new, but I'm not. I'm not going anywhere. Lastly, I want to thank my amazing friends who have been by my side this entire time. They've been holding a near 24-hour constant war room conference helping to track down the thief's channels and doxing attempts and report everything, as well as collating information on the thief. They have held me together these past 2 weeks. When I had no idea what I was doing, they were there to advise and help, even when they had their own things going on. I am honored to call you guys my friends. Thank you all so, so much. Take care, everyone, and thanks for sticking with me.